Hi, I'm Nir Tsang from Tag Video Systems. I'm here in our pod in IBC 2025, and I'm going to walk you through some new exciting features that we have and how they can save you time, save you resources, and improve your ROI and the experience that you provide to your customers. Let's start from the GUI here, where we're showing our new operator console. It's integrated into our control software, it's touch-friendly, and it allows the operators to have more flexibility and visibility in controlling the outputs, the layouts, and the source assignments. So from here, I can choose which output do I want to control, and then I can simply change the layout or click on one of the tiles in order to change the assignment and put here another source. You'll also notice that the GUI that I'm seeing here and all the different sources, it's limited, meaning we are also showing now our new user management, which allows us to segregate per user or per groups of users what they're allowed to see, if they're allowed to modify sources or are they just allowed to start and stop them. Of course, this is very important since the tag solution is designed to be an end-to-end solution, meaning you can monitor your production feeds, your contribution feeds, your playout, your OTT returns. So it means that in many cases, you will have multiple departments and many people involved in the flow. So you want to make sure that nobody interferes with the work that other departments are doing or other people are doing. So we can keep it completely separated, and each user has the rights only for the objects that he needs to use. Then we have the new QC station, which, as you can see here, it provides a lot of information, deep diving into the transport stream, ETR 101, the video info, stream info, audio graphs, and a lot of other information such as the new vectorscopes and color graphs that we integrated into the solution. Okay, so the main advantages of this solution is, first of all, that it's natively supported in the cloud. So it's not hardware based. If you had feeds in the cloud, you don't need to bring them to the ground first in order to be able to analyze them. So you can analyze them directly in the cloud, as the whole tag system is hybrid basically. It can be on-prem, on the cloud, or any combination of the two. And as you can also see in this screen, I actually opened now 4 QC stations in parallel. It's just 4 different tiles showing 4 different sources on a single layout that we can display and increase the capacity of our monitoring. It also, as tag, supports basically any video over IP format that exists right now in the market, both for the decoding and the encoding side. So it means that I can, first of all, put here any type of source that I want, may it be the NDI or 2110, JPEG XS, SRT, whatever it is that you want. And as you know, or may not know, tag can also encode all of our mosaics into each one of those formats. Okay, so I can generate the same mosaic that I'm seeing right now. I can generate it as 2110 at the same time as SRT and send it to other affiliates or partners, NDI, RTMP, whichever, all of the formats that we support. One more new thing that we're showing is the color bars over here. So now the tag output can not only generate mosaics, but it can also generate in real time task patterns. So what we're seeing here, I'm created this color bar through our output, and then I looked it back into the system and put it into this QC station. Okay, so if you'll notice on the top left side of the test signal, there's a small QR code. So we know exactly which specific test pattern this is. So when we scan it back into the system, then it is used as a reference. So then we can tell you, based on the colors that we detect on the input, what is the delta between what comes in and what came out of the system. So think about it that you can now route the same test signal over your entire chain, may it be your OTT chain through the packager or your playout through the transport stream conversion and transcoding and encoding. And then when you put it back into the system, we can automatically tell you what is the difference between the colors of how the test pattern came out and how it came in. So this enables us to do very easy, very fast color correction, even for people who are not proficient in video processing and coloring. The next thing we're going to talk about is the new content matching technology. The content matching technology is an automated way to have 100% certainty in that the content that you're playing out is the content that you're supposed to be playing out, and that there wasn't some wrong switching done along the way, and also provide us with a very accurate latency measurement. So what we're doing, we're basically placing probes in different places of the workflow. Of course, we're using the source or the contribution feed coming in as the source for the comparison. And then in each one of the monitoring points, we're generating a fingerprint, which is basically translating the structure of the pixels of the frame into a string of text. And then we compare them centrally. So if the string of text is different between the different monitoring points, we know that, that the frame is not identical, so it means you have a no match. Somebody did the wrong routing, you accidentally end up playing the wrong football game. So this is the kind of scenarios that the content matching came to solve. What else it can do? Since when we do the fingerprint, we also save the timestamp of when the fingerprint exactly was made. So when we compare the different timestamps and the different fingerprints, we know exactly what is the time delta between each one of those fingerprints, so we can measure and display the latency. So you have the option of measuring, of comparing each monitoring point to the previous monitoring point, and then get the time difference between each one of the processing stages. Or you can compare each monitoring point to the reference or to the source. And then you can have a very accurate measurement of how long it took from the moment the source came in until it reached the end device of the user. We also fingerprint and timestamp the audio and the video separately, so we can make sure that the audio matches, that the video matches, and we can also see and measure if there's any lip sync or any loss of sync between the audio and the video based on these timestamps. And the last new and very exciting feature that we are showing now as a beta version, we hope it will be released by the end of the year, but it's a very exciting concept that we call the group lens. Now, what does it mean? This is basically a convenient way for us to have an overview of the entire system and all of the channels that we have, and have a very quick way of how to do root cause analysis and figure out where the issue is coming from as fast as possible. The way we do that is that we build a hierarchy of a metadata structure that is based on a hierarchy. So this is something for the customer to customize by himself, decide how you want to split and tag your metadata. In this example, we see we have, I chose to divide my content into which data center it's on, where is the region of the origin contribution, the type of content, the resolution, who's the provider, the network topology. Okay, so I have many ways of how to describe and tag what content this is. So let's say I want to look at my data centers. I see that by these numbers here, 17 out of 420 tells me that I have in total 420 channels tagged under this data center parent, and 17 out of them at the moment have an error. So now I want to start drilling down and understand where the errors are coming from and why. So I expand the data center group, and I see here that I've already created different other different data center entries, like the Canada, the US West, the US East. So in the US West, for example, I have a total of 120 sources. 5 out of them have an error. So again, I want to dive into this. And now I see that I have multiple data centers here, the Cartoon Network or MTV or whatever. So I want to drill down even more. So now when I reach this point, and again, the visualization is not final yet, this is just the beta, but under this data center, I see that I have 2 errors out of 20, and the 2 sources that are highlighted in red are these 2 sources that I can see in the overview. So if I hover on top of it, I see the name of the source that has the issue, and also if I expand some of the other groups over here, I'll also be able to see, once I hover over that source, which other metadata groups it belongs to. Okay, so this post packager -180p source is also tagged in the resolution groups as having 1080p, and also tagged in the network topology group as being a post packager monitoring point. So this allows me for a few options on how to do the fast root cause analysis. So let's say if I expand the Discovery data center and I see that all the 20 sources here are having a problem, so it probably means that the problem is in the data center itself, right? If all of them have a problem, it's probably originating from the same place. And the next step of this that will already be part of the general release that we hope will happen by the end of the year, once you click on a source here, we will be able to use a kind of a penalty box logic in order to open immediately all the different sources that are part of this flow. Okay, so if I'm watching if I have a source which is some news channel and the post packager point have a problem, when I double click on it, it will actually present to me one by one all the different monitoring points of that flow, starting from the contribution and then post the encoder, the packager, and the CDN return, for example. So this is all up to us to configure and decide how we want the path to look like and how we want this display to show to us eventually what are the problematic sources. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching and see you next time.